I am a little early today. That's all right. I'm quite happy to wait till you all come in. Dear. Day 75. Who would have thought? 75. And trying to make an appointment for something now is just absolutely ridiculous because everybody is so busy trying to make up for 9, 10, 11 weeks of being in shutdown. So you can have tattoos done now, though. We're ready to go forward with tattoos after the 13th. How cool is that? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. The world is exactly the same. So we're just trying to get back to normal just seems such a difficult thing to do. But anyway, I'm going to start with the readings. All right, let's pull a couple of these guys out. Oh, there we go. No, too many. Okay, Spirit, just 2 will do. I'll even manage 3 if I have to, but I don't want a whole bunch. I'd say the bell hasn't gone off here. There we go, mouse and lizard. I know we've had both of them before. Just blows me out how many cards don't come out of the deck. Anyway, all right, mouse and lizard. Water and earth. There's the mouse. It's lizard's a fire. Lizard's a fire energy. That's why I couldn't find it under earth. Seems funny sitting here talking to myself. Come on, where are you all? The buzzer's not gone off this morning. Okay, I can't find my lizard now. Probably just as well we got time. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Mouse and lizard. Okay, I will get going all by myself since nobody's joining me today. The mouse. Okay. The mouse has, it's detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky and nervous. That's right. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its day fixing, preparing, organising and scrutinising. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. It's about micromanaging, taking things to extreme. So when in balance, that's organised, resourceful and prepared. All right, the lizard. So this is about instinctual, sensitive to the subtle and dreamer. The lizard isn't The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights in big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. Hey Gigi, how you going? Okay, so what they're saying here is you need to stop controlling. You have to give up control and you have to trust your intuition, because what we do is when we feel that we don't have power or we feel that we're in a position of not really having power over our domain, we tend to go into that over managing and that control. And what they're saying here is don't go into your lizard energy. Trust your intuition. Stand back a bit. Hey, Carla, how you going? Stand back and allow the universe to do what it needs to be doing. Don't keep working harder at controlling things if you don't need to. You don't need to. The universe will sort it out. You don't have to go into over managing everything. Okay, very interesting. We have the card of clean it up coming out. Okay. So this is the card of 21. Very interesting. So getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house and sweeping away what is no longer needed. So, ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home? Also, too much work, overwhelmed, time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. I feel like at the moment, maybe some of you are feeling like you have to sort of do too much at the moment. Maybe you're feeling overburdened by everything going on around you. I know that when you're home a lot and you see things around a lot, you tend to sort of want to do things all the time. And I feel like the universe is strongly saying here, don't act on that. Don't try to overmanage your life. Things will get done in their own time. And you don't have to overwork it. You don't have to micromanage it. Very, very nice. Okay, I was going to read a Rumi card as well because I thought that was really beautiful yesterday, and I really do. Yeah, that's it. I think that what's happening is because when we're feeling out of control, this is why I will say to people, if you've got a manager who's micromanaging you, it's because they feel out of control. There we go. What we do is when we can't control things, we go into over managing. We go into a sort of like trying to rescue, save, do more than what we would normally do. I don't know why we do it. It's sort of some way of us feeling a little bit more in control of what's going on. And I feel that's what they're saying. Don't do it. Yeah, trying to declutter. Yeah, because you've got everything around you. I keep looking around thinking I need to vacuum. And I'm thinking, well, really, do I need to vacuum? Is it really that bad? Hey, Sarah, how you going? Is it really that bad? Do you know what I mean? But because it's around you all the time, it starts to sort of play havoc with you. Merciful Mother Jamal, 44. It'll be interesting to see if this fits in with the reading now too. Okay. It's only got a really small description, this one. It doesn't have a big poem. It says, "O sudden resurrection, O countless blessings, O blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. Today you arrive with laughter to break open the jail." Yes, it does. See, it resonates completely. It's like saying, don't be worrying about everything. You need to be lighter in your energy. You, blazing angel, capable of so much, you evoke the testing hand of life. Why not when you cannot fail? Yet in your sweet surrender, how can the great beloved not respond in kind and offer you solace, comfort, and mercy? For not all success must be hard won, so you don't have to work hard at it. Can you imagine this? The sweet face of the all-powerful. It shines upon you as the love emanating from the Holy Mother's eyes, the golden radiance of her body, and the gentleness of her touch. This is your birthright now, your divine inheritance, the mercy of the all-merciful. Let it soften the hard edges of your life and your being and bring you to the grace that is deserved. See, it's coming. It's all coming for you. You don't have to work hard for things. It's already coming. Yeah, it's really beautiful, isn't it? I love the Rumi stuff. I can do that all day. I'm not going to stay on for too long today. I've got lots to do. I'm going out this afternoon. Yeah, okay, that's how I agree, Carla, definitely. Shishi, everybody's been like that this week. Please don't be too hard on yourself. Everybody's been really emotional this week. People have said they could have just broken down and cried. There's a big eclipse coming tonight, and the eclipses are much stronger than even the full moons. So I know that the power is generally very emotional. We don't sleep too well. We tend to sort of have restless energy, and I think we're all feeling feeling like that, coupled with whatever else is going on in the world at the moment. So we've got hey Jane, how you going? We have a world that's really restless. We have a lot of angry energy in the air. And we have a lot of, I suppose, in it, people aren't really sure where we're going or what's going on at the moment. Everywhere I've gone to make appointments, because when you've been out of action for 9, 10 weeks or whatever it is, everywhere you go to make an appointment now, everybody wants a deposit for the appointment, and everybody's booked out till the end of June, early July. So you can't, if you leave it another week, you're never going to get in and have everything done. So it's like everybody's in this state of panic. It is like panic. It's like now everybody's talking recession. We knew all this was coming. We knew it would hit the economy hard. We've taken all this time out, and really we're still in the same situation where we were before. We've still got a virus out there. So there's still this really unnatural feeling in the community. So we're all a little bit more highly strung. We're all a little bit more vigilant. We're all a little bit probably hyper vigilant. And then even the people in the shops are not really sure where it's going either. So they're sort of putting all these things in place to safeguard themselves. So everywhere you go now, they want a deposit for your appointment, which is really weird. We've never had to do that before. People are really nervous. You're going into places now, even when I went and had my nails done, you're going into places that have screens everywhere. So we're being cut off from each other. So the energy is very, very strange. You're still being counted when you go into stores, so they don't have too many people in there. You've still got people who ignore the 1.5 thing, so you're constantly on watch out for people. So everything is different. Nothing feels the same, and the only place you feel at home now is at home. And then you're sort of hearing about all this other stuff coming in from social media and the news and whatever else, and it's sort of like the whole world's changed. Nothing is like it was before. Nothing ever will be again. And hopefully we get to slide into this new model and do things differently, but it doesn't feel right when you've been on the planet for such a long time and taken so much for granted, and now everything's not the same anymore. That's the thing, isn't it? In the US, they've actually got curfews everywhere because of all the things going on. So people are talking about not being able to be on the streets now after 6 p.m. Like, weird. It's so weird. And I get it. I get it's for personal safety. I do. I understand that. But it's so strange for all of us because we've never had this before. Well, you might have done when you were 15. But it's sort of like the whole world has changed. It's almost like we've sort of walked out of one dimension and back into a new dimension. And I get you, Jane. When my friend came over last weekend, we had the biggest hugs. And I know that you're not supposed to. You're still supposed to social isolate. But I know that she'd been socially isolated because she still has an elderly mum. And I know she'd been extra careful. So, and I'd been at home. So, I mean, we were quite safe to do that. And it was a sensible thing to do. But oh my goodness, I miss the hugging and the kissing and the cuddling and the closeness too. It's really hard to change the way everything in your life is going to change from this. Hey, Rebecca, how you going? Somebody got offended. Oh, how funny. Yeah, everybody's hyped up. So you've got a community that's already in that mode of being highly strung because they're already still worrying. The virus has gone nowhere. We've still got the virus around. So that hasn't changed. So you've got people who are already sort of feeling very, very highly strung, going out in a community where there are a lot of other people who are highly strung. So you can understand that when all these sort of negative things occur, negative things happen, everybody's already hyped up. They're already in that sort of frame of mind. So it's very, very easy when people are that vulnerable and that sensitive to things to really stir up trouble. And you don't know what's going on in the community. People love stirring it up. We see it on, YouTube. We see it on Facebook, where people love stirring other people up. People do really wrong things, regardless. For the last probably couple of weeks on the YouTube channel, people have been posting things around, obviously some sort of pornography thing. And I keep coming across these little messages. They're only short and they leave them in my news feed. I don't know what they're supposed to be for. No idea. But they keep coming up in my news feed all the time. We have bots coming in, robots that come in and like your videos. I don't know why they do all that. I don't know what they achieve by it, whether they're trying to get into your personal information or what they're trying to do. But it's really, really evident at the moment because we're not doing so much else. So I'm more conscious of what's going on too, even being at home and not doing anything. So, if you've got already a very, you've got a nature where you over respond, or a nature where you become a little bit more aggressive, or a shorter temper, shorter fuse, and all of a sudden you're in this set of circumstances, you're going to blow, mate, you're going to blow. So I know. It sort of feels like all the time everybody's on edge. It's beautiful, yeah. The news doesn't show that. The news thrives on that negativity, thrives on the negativity. Oh, hey, Patty, how you going? Yeah, I just wanted in. That's beautiful. Yeah, the bots on YouTube. That's what I said. I'm noticing all this stuff too because I've got more time on my hands. So there are bots all the time. You can see what they are. You can block them. You can mute them. There's also these ones that come up as people's names that just have, Hot Girls 222 or whatever up there as well. They come in all the time. If they're trying to crack your accounts or trying to crack your YouTube, I have heard people on YouTube say that people have been putting their videos up or putting videos up in their name that other people have done. So I've heard that does happen. But I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it at all. I don't get all of this stuff. It just makes no sense to me at all. Feeding off other people and, being just downright mean, jealous, angry. I don't get that at all. I don't know at all. I get these things on my email all the time that tell me that, somebody wants to advertise on my YouTube channel, and she's got such a huge following. I've heard her say that she's had stuff taken from her, and I feel sorry for people because somebody goes and gets a reading and thinks they're going to Secret Tarot and then gets taken somewhere else and gets, puts their money into a reading and it's not what they want. That's pretty awful, isn't it? I remember a couple of other people along the way who've got really high subscriber counts, having things stolen. I just don't get the corruptness at all. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, who understands why people do what they do? Is it just to make money? Really? Yeah, if you need the money that badly, we can all probably give it to you. You don't have to go around do deceitful, nasty things. Hey, Lauren, how you going? Yeah, it's sort of weird, isn't it? Well, it's hard because you sort of I just close things down. As soon as I see them, I just mute and just get rid of them straight off the channel. And I think if they had people doing it, they probably would come through a lot easier. But you can actually see that it's not real. I'm very well, thank you. I just wonder what that noise was. It's a little whippersnipper. But they're everywhere. You get them on the dating sites too, and you can see that they're all dodgy profiles, but people still do it. I don't know why. They just get their thrills and kicks out of, abusing people, taking people for granted, taking money off easy prey. It's really quite evil. Um, so all you can do is just not give it any energy, get rid of it, delete it. But when you've got it sort of, constantly now around you, and the media is a lot to be, what can we do about the media? I used to always watch the BBC or the ABC because of the fact, or the SBS. We have a couple of channels here in Australia that are sort of, hi, how you going? Yeah, I don't get it either, Deb. Um, and we have a few channels that, used to be incredibly good, and they would be very, would be very, legitimate, maybe, but I don't even trust them anymore. I stopped watching them because of some of the things they were putting up. So it's sort of like you can't even find a TV or a radio channel that isn't, twisted to suit the bringing in the money or making money out of it. It's crazy. Hey, Jeanette, how you going? Um, Lauren, that's a beautiful way to look at things. Sadly, it doesn't happen that way. um, I don't know how people meet people nowadays. If you don't go out and you don't do anything, how do you meet people? Hey, yeah, there's always lovely energy in this room, always. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just a really particular, and I can tell when people are dodgy or they have dodgy profiles now. So I think I might be psychic, but there's still good people on there. It just you have to be a little bit more picky and choosy about who you talk to. But you can tell the false profile straight away. Always. You can tell they're written by a woman, they're not written by a man easily. Because men don't go, hello, gorgeous, you just have a beautiful smile. Men don't talk like that. They just don't do it. Oh, good. I was going to say, don't sit at home waiting for somebody to come to you. Although I have heard it happen. Remember, I said to you, I had one person. I said to him, "You're going to meet someone." She said, "I never go out anywhere," and she still met someone. So it does happen. Um, I just think that they come to your house to take care of your horses. That's right, Jane. That was just a beautiful story. It's not the first one I've had like that, but it's still really nice. Oh, you've met someone, Jeanette. How very nice. How did you meet them? Hey, Vane, how you going? How did you meet them, Jeanette? Share your story. I'll wait for you to write back. I have no doubt people still meet people at work and, still meet people in, old school friends, old friends, people they know, those sort of things. I have no doubt people still meet people that way. But I don't know that it's as when we lived, when we were young and our communities were a lot smaller and we sort of we had a lot more opportunity to meet people. Being a kid, like you were always around the people at school, and when you weren't around the people at school, you had your friends to be around. And then, of course, when you get a little bit older, you still have big groups of friends. But I don't think we sort of live quite the same anymore. It's not quite as easy to meet people. Um, I don't know. Some people still go out to clubs and pubs and things like that. I probably don't do that as much as I used to. Um, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, she came, yes, through work. He came to her for an estimate. He's getting a divorce. We talked and said he hasn't divorced. We'd get together. That hasn't happened yet, but still nice to be recognised. But it will happen. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and then Rebecca said her person blew her off tonight. That's no good. That's no good. He must be making room for someone better to come in. That's the way I see it. Um, yeah, I don't know. That always makes me laugh. The people who have a degree or that they're always on the dodgy ones on the dating site are always widowed, often looking after children, are God fearing. I don't know what they mean. I'm a God fearing man, and then they talk about how wonderful they are, that they love to go dancing and love taking people out and spoiling their partner and and giving them massages and rubbing their feet. I'm like, sorry, you're not real. That's just not what a guy does. A guy writes up something like the football, don't mind going out every now and again and watching a band. That's the sort of stuff a guy writes. I fix cars in my spare time. I like to go fishing. That's a man stuff. Men just don't write like that. That's why I said it's women writing it, and women writing for people because they want to suck a woman in. Just so not real. Um, my favorite one, I mean, I've dated on dating sites for a long time, but I went out with a guy who I can't remember how tall he said he was. I don't know. I can't remember. And I was like nearly a foot taller than him. And I thought, if you're going to lie about your height, what else are you going to lie about? I mean, seriously. And then all he talked about the whole time I was there was about his conquests. So I'm like, yeah, narcissist, go away. Too funny. Catfish, no, Gigi, my daughter always talks about it. Hey, Scott, how you going? Um, oh, that's awful, Rebecca. Lauren, for 4,000 a day, I would have considered that. That's a lot of money. Short narcissism tool. Yep, definitely. He was absolutely. I could write a book just on my dating. I think I've had a lot of fun with that. But I've met some really, really nice people too. But, that's just the way it goes, I guess. But for me, I really enjoy the talking to people, and I love hearing their experiences. Oh, so much fun listening to other people's dating experiences. That's really nice, Jeanette. Don't give up on that. I hope it works out for you. You had a tough day today catching a ferry to the national park for coffee and breakfast at work. Really? That's a tough day? um, Yeah, I scrutinize people. So I talk to them for a while. If they want to rush too quickly to go to a phone call, then I say to them, I won't go to a phone call until I get to know you a little better, because I want to know I've got something to talk about with you. But I chase guys off all the time. The moment you put your boundaries in place, they run. So I figure if a guy can get past the boundaries and being told, the sort of stuff you won't tolerate, then forget it. You're so cheeky, Scott. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I chase guys off all the time, and I don't think I'm being unreasonable. Don't muck me around. Don't come late for dates. Treat me with respect, or don't bother coming. And if that's too hard for you, then sorry, I'm not the right person for you. I have a lot to offer. I know my own value. No, so what I do is I talk quite a bit on the phone. If they want to move too quickly to a phone call, generally I say to them no. So I get my power there and say, if you want to talk to me, I'd rather talk online for a while first. When I feel comfortable enough, then I'm happy. I get them to send me their phone number, and then I hold the power there. And then I usually like to talk a few times online on the phone to them too, and I can get a fairly good idea of people on the phone. I met a guy not long ago, and all he talked about was what he owned and how much money he had. Like, I'm not interested in money. I really am not. It's just not who I am. So I was sort of like, it was very, very nice guy, but just obviously is thinks women are really interested in the material side. I've got all my own stuff. I don't need your money. So that sort of turned me off a little bit. So yeah, so I do the talking on the phone, and I certainly won't meet for coffee unless I feel really, really comfortable. So it's fun. I'm completely self-sufficient. I was working I've got part-time. I got approved part-time. So I work a part-time job. I make a little bit of money out of obviously the readings and things like that, which is great. I don't have the need for any more than I've got already. I'm very comfortable where I am. I can go on holidays if I need to. I can, yay for part-time. So I don't I don't really need to have a lot of money. If I fell in love with someone who had a lot of money, then I think that would be fantastic for both of us to be able to do the things we wanted to do. But it's certainly not in my top 10 tick list for what I would like to have in a partner. So I do see men do have up sometimes that they don't want to have a person who's not working or self-sufficient. Men often put that up there. Um, yeah, no, and you can't feel chemistry online. And even when you go out with someone, you're never really sure on one date whether you're going to have chemistry with someone or not either. I feel that if someone can offer me enough fun, if I enjoy their company for a cup of coffee, then I might go for another date if I felt that I could do that. But if someone's if I don't feel anything, I don't have to feel chemistry, but if I don't feel a connection on some level, then I wouldn't go for a second date either. So as far as dating sites go, so I met my husband on a dating site, ex-husband. So I've met a lot of people on dating sites. I'm just very, very particular about how I do that. Does it always turn out well? I still get to meet people. I still get to have fun. I don't think it's any more scary than going out with anybody. You know, you can be married to a narcissist, so you can be married to a psychopath. You can meet someone and have a relationship for 3 months before really understanding who they are. So I don't really understand why people wouldn't go on to dating sites. Not really sure. If you're younger and you have a very good social life, you might have a bit more of an opportunity to meet people in the community. But certainly as you get older, your access probably is a little bit more difficult. But blind date, I don't think I've ever had a blind date. I don't think I've ever had a blind date, but I've met people. I've met people through Facebook as well, like talking to people through Facebook. I've had a couple of people I've met through Facebook, through other sites, but I guess in a way that's sort of similar. I've met people even through other social media sites, so and had coffee with them, and and had a good talk about things. So I guess there's some opportunity with social media, but I'm not really a person who goes to the pub or club. All my friends are married. Um, yeah, Deb, I love that. That's one of my favorite things. That's why I said it's worth getting on sites just to hear people's stories. Yeah, but you're not ready, Lauren. You're not ready at the moment. So that makes a bit of difference. But yeah, you do what you want to do, I guess. Oh, you were set up for a blind date. You were set up. Sounds really dodgy. Yeah, no, don't think I've ever been on a blind date. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Patty. You can put a lot of effort into putting your own profile together, and not really have much luck with that. I remember putting up something one time and this guy coming on and saying, you expect too much from men, something like that. And I was like, you're underselling yourself. I've had guys say things like, oh, I've offered you now, I only offer you once. Like, yeah, that doesn't really do it for me either. I don't like manipulation. So, oh, how funny. Isn't that interesting, Sarah? Rebecca, I don't know why you're highlighted in red. You're not highlighted here. You got the same writing as everybody else. So maybe it's your own, maybe for yourself if you're on here. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess it's sort of, entirely up to people. Some people meet people through their friends. Some people meet people through their school. When I went back to England in 2005, I met the boy I left behind when I was 16. And I was so in love with him. It took me, or well, I thought I was, probably now knowing what love is all about, probably just infatuated. But I'd been through school with him for like 5 years, and we'd finally got together, and I just thought he was the most wonderful thing in the world. And I left him, and of course, tears, crying, broken heart, many months of that after I came to Australia, and finally got an opportunity to meet back up with him when I went back in 2005, and met up with a couple of other friends I had when I was at school too. And that was quite interesting. I actually showed him a picture, a photograph that he'd given me at that time, and he didn't have the photograph himself. So that was pretty interesting. It was puppy love. I think I probably had 2 or 3 boyfriends that I fell in love with by the time I was 16, totally infatuated with them. But yeah, that's the way it is, I guess. That's really interesting, though, Sarah, that would happen. I figure if I can't put out what I want in a relationship, then I'm not going to settle for half. And I'm not completely intolerant if I can't have everything I want in a person either. I'm quite willing to, sort of step back and understand that not everybody's going to be exactly right. But yeah, it does sound like a good sitcom. Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's certain requisites we want in a person, regardless. It just, I guess that I've just got to a point in my life where I'm a little bit more particular. I still meet nice people, but I don't feel, I suppose, obligated to put up with people's bad points anymore. How embarrassing. That's too funny, Sarah. Yeah, I get it, Lauren. I think I'm a bit more particular, but I'm not really particular about, it sounds funny when you say that. I'm not particular about certain things about a person, but there would definitely be deal breakers. Like I would never date a smoker. I wouldn't date a person who was at the pub every day. I wouldn't date a person who put everybody else before me. Those sort of things are deal breakers for me. So I guess most of you would be very, very much the same. But certainly there are things that that you know. Yeah. So I think there's certain things that we do say that are deal breakers, but other things that I'm talking to a guy tonight that said to me, "What football team do you support?" And I thought, I've done the person that's loved the football. I've watched football. I know all about football. I've been to the football stadiums. I've watched live games. I've worked for a footballer. So I've know everything I need to know about football. Is it something I really like to do? No, not really. But if somebody else wanted to go to the football or watch football on the television, that would not worry me at all. That is not a deal breaker. If I met someone who liked to go fishing, I've gone fishing lots. I've taken my kids fishing. I did a lot of fishing when I was younger. Is it my thing now? No, not really. But it wouldn't bother me if somebody wanted to go fishing a lot. So I think that there are some things that you sort of there are some things that that you don't mind, but at the end of the day, there comes a point where you have to be that you have to go by your own integrity. So you can't put up with things that go against your own personal ethics. But those sort of things that people like to do, they wouldn't worry me at all. I don't like hairy backs. That sort of thing doesn't worry me. Hairy backs, that's so funny. Hairy backs. And Patty was said she would rather be alone than settle. That's true. I get that totally. Do my psychic gifts help me? I don't really use my psychic gifts to analyze people. Guys do it though. they come in straight away and go, read me. I'm like, I'm not here to read you. I want to get to know you. I'm not really here to read you. But I guess inadvertently you become quite good at reading people. But let's say I don't always get it right too. I know people are, some people, I've known them for a long time before I've started to realize how, manipulative or mean they are. And sometimes we just want to see the best in people. So I wouldn't do that. I want to get to know people for what they are truly like. I want to know who they are at the core. I think it would be nice to meet someone like all of us, who's a bit more spiritually aware, a little bit more awake. I think that would be fabulous. If somebody poo-poos spirituality, or tells me that's all crap or anything like that, that's a deal breaker for me. So there are some things that are deal breakers, and I certainly think I like to meet someone who is open-minded, who is able to accept that there's something greater than us. Sometimes when you say that you're psychic, people call you fake or whatever else, and I think I don't really want to deal with that either. The majority of people I've met over the years have all had a very spiritual experience but don't accept it. They talk about it, but they don't accept that as being a spiritual experience. They put it down to something else. So that's a little bit crazy too. Hey, Linda, how you going? I don't like drama. I don't like games. I'm not a jealous person. I'm not a possessive person. So I don't like people playing those games with me either. We all feel jealous. We all feel a little put out by the way people are sometimes. But the way I see it, is that you learn to deal with it. Jealousy is your problem. If you're having an issue with me, then that's not my issue. That's your issue. You need to come to terms with your jealousy. But that's just the way it all is. It just is. Yeah, no drama, no games, honesty. I like real honesty. I don't care if you're brutal. I don't care if you landed on me brutally. I like honesty. And I certainly don't like it when somebody won't talk about something. And we talked about that the other day. Yeah, I agree with you, Lauren. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know why they give me super chats. I don't really, I don't get any funds from that. So thank you for donating that. But I don't know where that donation goes because I don't get it. I don't know what I have to do to receive those funds. I should probably look into it. Jealousy is not your problem, Scott. That's their problem. People are adults. They need to deal with it. If you've given a person reason to feel jealous and they say to you, I feel really jealous about that, and you can sit down and discuss how you can work with that, how you can work with that energy, that is the best way to go about it. So if you think that I'm doing something wrong, what is it that I've done to make you feel the jealousy? And if I've done nothing to make you feel that way, then it's your insecurity, not mine. And I knew a girl who used to say all the time that every man that she'd ever had has cheated on her. And therefore she put all these rules in place so people didn't cheat on her. And I'm like, if you're saying that people are cheating on you and you're putting a whole heap of rules in for someone to stop them from cheating on you, chances are pretty good they're going to cheat on you, because you're going to expect that. So the universe will probably provide you with what you want. You're going to manifest that. So you can't distrust people because of your own experiences. If you have a problem with jealousy, we all feel jealous. We all feel envious. It's just a normal part of what we do. We just learn to work with those feelings. And you need to have a relationship that's open enough that somebody can say to you, I felt uncomfortable when you did this to me. And then you have an opportunity to say, well, I'm really sorry about that. I'll be more conscious of that in future if it made you feel uncomfortable. I don't know what it's all about. Yeah, it's their problem, Scott. If you're doing something to make someone jealous, that's a different thing. So that's why I said I'm not really fond of people who play games. Like, I've had people do it, like deliberately flirt with other people to make you feel uncomfortable. That sort of thing does make me feel not so much that I'm getting jealous, but if you're going to go to that much trouble to make me jealous, why are you that insecure that you need me to reassure you all the time? If I say I love you and I'm going to be faithful and true to you, then I mean what I say. I don't need you to make me jealous or make me feel uncomfortable. But if you've got a jealousy problem, then that is an issue for you. And that sometimes people not dealing with it from other relationships. Um, yeah, it is awful, isn't it? Yeah, and I think that's the same thing. I think that we're starting as you get older and you become more aware, you start to realize how people play games like that. It's just not a nice thing to do. It's also not nice to destroy other people's dreams when you're in a relationship. And I think that there are a lot of people who try to pull people down to stop them leaving or because of their own insecurities. And I hear that from people too. Things like not supporting someone to do something they want to do. So, I've heard people say, I want to start up like I don't know, a tarot business. And their partner says, oh, that'll never work. Don't bother with that. You'll never do any good with that. You're not very good at what you do. Like that type of thing, because they don't want that person to be successful or more successful than them. I went out with a no, it doesn't come out with the YouTube payments. No, it was really, it's really odd. No, I don't know, Patty, and I do need to follow it up to find out where it goes to. YouTube may be taking it. I don't know. Um, but I was going to say something there with that. Um, yeah, that's the sort of thing that people seem to get their rocks off on that sort of stuff. Um, Yeah, I agree. You can't change people. You can't change people to be what you want them to be. It's impossible to do that. If a person wants to change or wants to negotiate or wants to work with you, that's a different story, but you can't change other people. So if what you're getting up front is what someone's presenting to you, you have to accept that's who the person is. Um, Oh, that's what I was gonna say. No, I had a so before I came into the job I'm currently in, I'd worked in operations. So I had really huge paying jobs, and cars and computers and phones and things like that, all as part of the job that I had. So I had really good salary packages. You'd be surprised at how many, um, guys feel uncomfortable if you get paid more than them, and they um, try to sort of make it like I don't even know how to explain it, like you've just fluked your way in there and got yourself a good pay deal. I'm like, that's just silly. So I stopped telling people, that I was really very successful, because if I told that to guys, they would be really intimidated by it. Instead of going, wow, that's awesome, Yvonne, that you've made your way up there, after, not leaving school at 16 and living on the streets, and you've got to that point. But that never happened. That never happened. Um, so I figure at the end of the day, people need to respect and appreciate you for what you've done in your life. Um, what did I say to crack you up? I don't know what happened there. Yes, I'm the same, Lauren. Like I worked my way right to the top. I did operations. I managed teams of, 50, 60 people. And I just woke up one day and I thought, I really am not enjoying what I'm doing anymore. I really love doing the work that I'm doing here. This is more, in line with what I want to do. But nobody ever really supported me to go into spiritual work. Nobody ever supported that. Um, I think some of the things people have said along the way to sort of trip you up and not allow you to move forward. And I think, sorry, my voice is going. And I think that that's really sad, because I'd never do that to anyone. If someone came to me and said, I want to paint pictures for a living, I wouldn't be like, oh, do you think you can make money out of that? Really? Is that something you want to do? No. how can I decide someone else's future or what they're good at? I would 100% support someone no matter what. Um, yeah, see what I mean, Linda? That's beautiful. That's the sort of thing that I think that get their rocks off. Um, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. I think that, regardless of what you want to do. If it's your dream and you want to do it, you want to have a partner who supports that. You want to have a person who sees your potential and really engages with that and, maybe does things to help you get yourself off the ground. That's what you want. Um, yeah, I don't know why. This is sort of this whole idea of I know it sort of reverts back to the whole idea of, women being sort of constantly plagued with that. I remember when I left my kid's father, I remember my stepfather saying to me, "Who's going to want you with 3 children?" I don't know. Does it matter? So people they really put you down and put you in your place. So yeah, I think it's really important to support someone regardless of what you want to do. I think that's a really I think that's an incredible thing to do, to see the potential in someone else, because what good does it do you to put people off because you're jealous or you're put out by what they want to do? What good does that do you? But then, like we were talking about before, there are people in this world who just don't really care. They just want to enforce their own views. They just want to take advantage of people. Oh, there's Queen of Water. How you going? Um, yes, I know. Too many people live in a 3D human experience. Ego. It's not a dirty word. Yeah, a lot of people living in ego, very much so. Yes, it's a long weekend. We have the Queen's birthday on Monday, so I had like 5 days off in a row, which is pretty awesome for me. So I've done so much today. I've been really active today. Don't forget there'll be no daily tomorrow though, because I start the somebody cottoned onto um, that little aside there, little oh golly, I'm just gone completely blank. Ego is not a dirty word. No, ego is a good thing as long as you're not living in it. Yeah, God save the Queen. Yes, there you go. So I won't be doing a live tomorrow. Don't forget to send me your email addresses, though, if you're interested in going into the G's group gang when I get that up and running. So try and remember to send it through to me. I hope to get that set up next week. Now I'm going to go part-time. I'll only be working 3 days a week, which is awesome. And they've only let me do it for 3 months to see how it works out. So I have to see whether how that works for me. But it's going to be very exciting. Tomorrow, yes. So we're first class up tomorrow. Very excited about that. I'll do all the preparation in the morning. I've already started pulling stuff together here for you guys. So whoever's involved in the first group. Struggling artists. The sad part about artists, Patty, is some of the most famous people have not become famous until they've died. And then we've appreciated their art. So I think it's really sad that artists' work doesn't really always get appreciated in their time. And I think it's because people are ahead of their time. So it's sort of like, some of the great artists, poets, story writers often don't get sort of noticed until they're way down the track or gone. And that's a bit sad. You don't always see people get what they deserve in this lifetime. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And I've, seen a lot of the beautiful art. Like I've been, thanks, Scott. I've been, to some of the most beautiful art galleries in the world. There is nothing more magnificent than seeing the painters and knowing that something has been painted, years ago. I was in Paris and saw the Mona Lisa many years ago now. And I'd always thought it was going to be this huge. We went really early in the morning because we wanted to make sure we did see that. The rest of the Louvre is really beautiful, but we got there early to see the Mona Lisa, and I sort of expected it to be this huge portrait of this woman that nobody knew, and she's only little. She's only just a little picture, and I was really surprised by that. So, and there was already a queue to see that painting before I even got there. Um, well, Patty, I don't know. If your work is really beautiful, we may get to share it when we do our Mona Lisa is tiny. Yes, I just it fascinated me because I wasn't expecting her to be so small. I thought it was a big painting. No, no, no. She's only about so big, probably maybe a foot and a half, 18 inches, possibly round about that. No, not big at all. Um, but I love art, and I particularly love some of the old masters. They are pretty awesome. And seeing some of, so I did the Louvre, and then we went down and had a look at the Musée d'Orsay, where a lot of the other amazing painters were. So I can walk around art galleries, museums, architecture, all that sort of thing all day. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, she was only little. It's really crazy how small it was. I was blown away. But she looked as big as someone's head. Yeah, that's it. It is only, yeah, she's only a really small picture. I don't know actually how big in terms, because it was sort of a bit of a way back as well. But on that particular trip, we got to do a lot of those historical artists, and we also did a lot of castles while we were in England, because I just love castles too. So I love history, a real history buff. Yeah, I still haven't done enough, Linda. I've done a lot of travel, but I still have not done near what I want to do. And I was saying to someone the other day, I was having a bit of a chuckle because on my I took it down on my vision board. I'd never done a vision board before, and I thought I'm going to have a bit of a dig at it. Let's have a bit of fun with it. So I did a vision board up, and on my vision board, two of the countries that I wanted to visit were China and Italy. They were both on my bucket list. Fiji, you should be right in October, because they're saying that they're going to open up July. We start flying again, but just to the native sort of countries close to us. And if they haven't got a lot of the virus going around, but they say by the 1st of September, we'll have a lot of flights opened up completely. I don't know how it's going to go. United States, I've done Las Vegas. I loved Las Vegas, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Hawaii. I've been to twice, but I've never been down south. And I have a real fascination with the southern history. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, see, that's what I love, Sarah. You and I'd have so much fun together. I'd love to do that. I've done a couple of jails, ghost tours in jails. I have so much fun. 2022 for the USA, yeah, may not be a bad idea. Really hard, isn't it? But who knows? They may have some sort of cure by then. You never know that. Possible. But I'd like to do the South. My daughter did all around Mississippi, Louisiana, and all those places, St. Louis, and her stories. They stayed in the slave quarters on properties, and and the music, and I just would have loved it. I know I would, Deborah. I just have, I have a fascination with that history, that Civil War history. So I said to you, if I get over there, Jane, I'm coming to visit you. I haven't been to Florida. So New Orleans is where my daughter went, and the music, she'd taken all the music on her phone, all the street music and the atmosphere and everything. Oh, it was just divine. Yeah, if I come over, I'll let you all know I'm coming over. I've had invitations for people. So what I'd love to do ideally, and I hope I get to do it one day, and it's the way I'd love to do America, because I would like to go to Salem too, but there's like Jellystone Park. So what I would love to do is come over. I'd love to go back to Las Vegas, and I never got to do the Grand Canyon while I was there. So I would love to do that. So I thought, how nice would it be to just go for several months, hire a car, and just go. And that is my dream, to do that in the States, to just go and just spend months just traveling around and doing all the things that I want to do, all the places, seeing all the places I want to see. I don't think the voodoo shops. I know, I would love it. The old cemeteries in so many movies in New Orleans. My daughter went there, um, and the things she showed me, and the pictures. Route 66 was another thing. So we actually talked about that a few years ago, doing Route 66. I think you go to Chicago with that one. Yeah, Jellystone Park. That's what I was having a laugh at. But I would love to do that, just go for a few months and just travel around. So if I get the opportunity, I will definitely, definitely be in touch with you all and let you know when I'll be coming through your town. Um, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Deborah. I even priced it all out for the petrol, the car, accommodation, worked out exactly how much I need. And my daughter and I were coming. So I was just going to do the driving. I was a little bit nervous about driving on the other side of the road, but we had the whole trip planned. We had it all marked out on a map, how long it would take us and everything. And then she fell pregnant. So I didn't want to take her while she was pregnant, and I didn't think, if we were away for 6 months, it wouldn't have been the most comfortable thing for her. So Gold Coast, I've done the Gold Coast lots of times, and I will be going through again as soon as they open the gates. My sister lives in Caloundra, and I miss her so much, so I can't wait to go back up and spend some time with her. Yeah, I wasn't sure, Lauren, if it would take very long. But I will get there. I definitely will get there. All these things are on my bucket list. And who knows, I might be, somebody might come in and say, Yvonne, we want you to go and tour America reading for people. How cool would that be? And then I might get a driver. So somebody might take me round, who knows? But it would certainly be nice to have, this is what you're talking about with, partners. It would be nice to have a partner who would say, come on, honey, let's just hop in the car. We'll fly to America and just take our time and go around for 6 months. Whereabouts do you live, Linda? Maybe a few of us could get together and just, oh, there you go, Jody. So you're in Boston, outside of Boston. I would love to also go to New York, but the reason I would like to go to New York would be, Currumbin. Oh, well, that's where I used to live. So I lived in Eleanor for 7 years. So right there where you're talking. Gigi will be the roadie. Well, we'd have fun, wouldn't we? I'd have to get a semi-trailer to fit you all in, but we would have a lot of fun together, that's for sure. There you go. See? Look at that. We're already there. So Linda's ready to go. We have Gigi's happy to be the roadie. Jody's Jeanette. They're all close to where we want to go. New York, I'd like to do some theatre. I love theatre. And I always thought I'd love to go and see some stuff in New York. When we went to Las Vegas, I did a lot of because I wanted to watch the sort of showy, tacky shows. So I did some of those there too. But if I got to New York, I'd want to watch a couple of Broadway shows. Simpson Road. Oh, wow. So Scott wants to be the driver. So we've got a roadie, a driver, and a few people who are on the way. So I need somebody to do the bookings for me, because if I'm going to do the readings, I'll need a booking clerk to take the bookings and book the places I go to. So there you go. Just book the hotels and make sure we've got a white Christmas. Oh, Lauren, how beautiful. That reminds me of the Home Alone movies, the Christmas in America. Lauren said she'll do the bookings. But I would love to do America. Also the museum. What's it called in New York? The big museum. So Sarah, you'd have a cross between an English and American accent. Have you got a funny accent? Because you're English. So do you still have any of your English accent with your American accent? Because if you're an empath, you pick up, when we're empathic, we pick up other people's accents really easily. So yes, with Lincoln, what's the name of that museum? with the big statue of Lincoln outside. So I'd like to go there too. Yeah, it's still quite English with a twang. Yeah, fair enough too. I need to listen to you on one of your Facebook posts. Yeah, there you go, Lauren. I've done that before. I hung around with a girl from in England, from Birmingham, and I was speaking like her. I remember my family getting so angry with me because I took on the accent so easily. Lincoln Monument. What's the name of the museum there? No, it's Guggenheim. Is that the one? That sounds vaguely familiar. Is the Guggenheim in New York or just outside of New York? Smithsonian. There we go. Okay, there you go. So that sounds cool. Sounds like we're all up. Start saving, guys. Start saving your money. I figure we could buy one of those buses and just bus it. Just get a big bus over there and just bus it round. That would be so much fun, wouldn't it? From Birmingham. Ah, okay. A bit refined. Nice, Sarah. That sounds like so much fun. Um, yeah, the G gang bus, the G's gang. But we'd have a ball. We'd have an absolute ball. We'd have so much fun. Um, and all the places I wanted to visit, I could write them all down for you. And then you could decide which ones you wanted to visit and whether you needed to take time out to go in a slightly different direction. From Tennessee, so very southern. Oh, how beautiful, Jeanette. You got the drawl. Is it a drawl? That's what they say, isn't it? And Sarah, near the border of Canada. Actually, we've got a lot of people who come on, we've got a couple of people come on at intervals from Brazil and New Zealand. So we've got quite a lot of accents on here. It is a draw, y'all. Yeah. My daughter's children, their father was from the States. So he was from the southern states. So that's why my daughter got to go down all around that way and she got to visit Elvis's Graceland and whatever else. So I was very, very jealous when she got to do all that. But anyway, all right, I better get going. It's over an hour I've been on here for. You all missed the readings at the beginning, so you'll have to go back and watch the readings. They were pretty awesome. From San Diego to Vancouver. I've got relatives in Canada. I have a lot of relatives in Canada, which is pretty awesome. All right, so I won't see you tomorrow. I will see you on Sunday for a bit of a spell. Have a lovely day tomorrow. Nice day off. I don't know if you've got stuff planned with everything going back to normal. Enjoy it, and I will catch up with you on Sunday. I will try and do your other readings too. Thank you, and thanks for the fun chat, everybody. Thank you for joining. Mwah! Much love to you all.